Okay.
You got lights and stuff?
Yes.
Cool. Does anyone not have a syllabus? Who else is weird? So.
Tom, I have the lights a little low. Do you want them up?
Monty, are you here? Oh, just so you know, I am like really bad with faces and names. I think I killed too many brain cells when I was young. At least that's what I thought it was, but then my dad was talking to my dad. He told me that he has this thing. So you are not computer savvy, if that's your weak point, go out and find someone who knows it and completely pick their brain as to, how do I optimize my computer to run faster? Okay. How do I install Pro Tools, the free Pro Tools program, which I've yet to find anyone who's actually successfully done it on a PC that can do that. But and get out there and really look into the technology, okay, and practice your part. So what I wanted to start with today is just listening to what you are all listening to. Okay, we will not get through everyone today. We'll pick up on Tuesday. We probably won't get through everyone on Tuesday, but if there's some track that in the middle of the semester really jumps out at you, or you are working on something and you want everyone to hear it, then we can certainly stop class and listen to stuff. That's what this class is about. Everyone has different tastes in music. Okay, I think I like using the Norwegian death metal thing because that was the most surprising thing I've come across. Okay. If it's not your cup of tea, what you're mixing or what you are, doing live sound for, whoever walked into the studio and wants you to record them, you still have to get past your own personal opinion of, oh man, I really don't like bluegrass music. I hate country. Man, that Norwegian death metal makes my head spin. You have to get past that because you want to work in this industry. And you want to be doing as much and as diverse a collection of music as you possibly can. And if someone's paying you to be their audio engineer, you're being paid to do a job, and you are, you've got to do your best possible work. And so, when someone plays something, you also need to be critical of it. Like you need to critique it. Because maybe they're a vocalist, but they think they're a vocalist, but they've never had any formal training, and maybe they're weak in a certain area, and you need to be able to pull that performance out of them. Or, and this one is my personal pet peeve, the guitarist shows up and plugs in their guitar and it buzzes on stage. And they say, well, it didn't buzz at home, knowing full well that it buzzed at home. So if your guitar buzzes at home, I'm only going to make that buzz louder through a PA. So you need to be able to say to the guitarist, do you have a problem with your guitar? Do we have time to fix it? So you need to be able to be critical of people without coming across as being critical. So before you say anything negative, you have to say something positive. You have to learn how to do that. You have to learn how to say, if you don't like the current state of hip hop. Okay. You have to remember, I was listening to hip hop before you all were born. Okay. I used to go to a record store, and when hip hop came out, blown away. Okay. So I'm kind of an old school. And so if you don't like the current state of hip hop, you can't say, oh, I don't like any of it. No, you have to listen to it. If you're not into classical music, okay, you have to listen to it. Because every student recital gets recorded here. And the music department hires student sound system, I'm carrying, you know, the Berlin Symphony Orchestra playing Mozart's Requiem. I'm carrying Luciano Pavarotti singing La Boheme. I'm carrying Peter Gabriel. I'm carrying Katie Lang, and I'm not even a huge Katie Lang fan, but I carry her Ingenue album with me because it's an incredibly well-produced album, and her vocals are just dead on. Okay, and but you understand what I'm saying is you need to have that music that you know so intimately that when you walk in and you're like, something sounds weird here. You know, and then hopefully we will teach you how to correct that. Okay, and so that when the band comes and you're mixing the band, you've already set the PA up. So that's usually how it works. If you're the engineer, you show up at noon and you work with the house people, you know, like say, you know, miking up the drum kit and the bass and the guitars and keyboards, and the engineer's going to go through and they're going to sit there and just listen to tracks and get everything to their liking before the band shows up. So that when the band shows up, there isn't a problem with the low end in the room when the bass player starts playing. Because the band shows up at 3, they do a sound check from 4 to 6, and then they want to go again. Okay, so you need to start to build this collection of music. And you need to be, once again, kind of open to having a variety of music, you know, styles of music, so that doing a festival and a bluegrass band shows up, you want to kind of know that your PA is going to do that bluegrass band well. All right. So let's take a walk to the back of the room. What's it? You want to go first? Absolutely. So let's take a walk to the back of the room. Oh look, we're streaming live. This is the newest gadget. We're going to start streaming concerts out of this room and the PAC.
His department meeting went over that.
No, it didn't. This is literally Andy's figuring it out today. I just kicked him out of the room.
Dr. Boyce mentioned
Yeah,
it.
she did mention it. Yeah. All right, so we're gonna. You know, it's art and technology. So who wanted to go first? Okay. So I'm just going to be throwing things out, and we're going to, we will get deeper into things. But here in the Simonelli Recital Hall, this is our digital mixer. It receives analog signal in, converts it to digital, puts it on a computer network. Okay, and then all of the 2 processors here, and then a bunch of processors in the other room, are all living on that network, and that is what allows us to basically handle this room in surround, okay, in 7.1 surround. So you've got left, center, right, left surround, left rear, right rear, and then the subs. And the subs are really poorly placed in this room. We'll talk about that. In addition, you see all the little black speakers over your head? Okay, so those banks of speakers are part of Yamaha, the Yamaha, the diffusers. What those do is they take the sound energy and break it up so that you don't have, like when you're down in the lobby here, you can't have a conversation with anyone more than 10 feet away because you have this really hard floor and these really hard walls, and you get these reflections bouncing between them. What these panels are and what the ceiling does is they are designed to diffuse the sound, to take those sound waves and break them up so that you get a nice even sound field in the room. This room used to be an art gallery, okay, and it's a historic building. So when they wanted to turn it into an auditorium, the ceiling is only 16 feet high. And there isn't enough physical space to create any natural sounding reverb in the room. So we use something called, it's an electroacoustic reverberation system, but it is from Yamaha. And they call it active field control, or AFC. And it's really cool. So I'm going to ask someone to hit those buttons in a second, because it's more impressive if I stand here and talk to you back there. So basically, above the stage here, there's 4 microphones that are always preset 2 on that touchscreen, it's going to take a second, but what's going to happen is it picks up my voice, those microphones, and this they call the voice lift. And what it's doing is it's pushing the signal from these microphones just out of those speakers over your head, but in a way that sounds the little tiny black boxes between the diffusion panels. Okay, look straight up. Straight up. Yep. Okay, but it's done in such a way that you can't discern that it's not coming from me. Okay, now if you hit, but it's still kind of dry, there's no reverb, right? So if you hit preset 3,
There it is.
Yep.
right? If you hit, so basically preset 1 is off. Preset 2 is the voice lift, which is like we use for lectures. Preset 3 is this reverb, and it's like small, medium, large, and extra large. So if you go to 4, the room will get bigger. And you hear it click, you hear it shut down, and then it'll come back up. Okay? And if you like just jump to 6, I call this the John Bonham reverb. For all the Led Zeppelin.
Oh,
Isn't that cool?
that is cool. It does sound like a light.
Sounds like,
Sounds
now
like
we
a
already
light.
use preset 6. Why? What's really cool is when we teach the recording classes, this is what we call the live room or the tracking room. So we track out of this room, and we, if you want like a huge snare drum sound, you can get that when you track it, without actually like using a Pro Tools plugin or something. It's pretty expensive. Okay, it's pretty expensive to do this. And if you blow it up, that's bad.
Oh,
Okay,
God.
so is why, and so if you actually take it and put it back to preset 2 for me, okay, because that'll just be the voice lift. Because when we're doing sound reinforcement in here or listening to tracks, you don't want it swimming in some big soupy reverb. And for all of you people who play in this room, who are in the various ensembles or doing solo work or something like that, don't let your faculty control this. Okay? You need to have some input. Now, when you stand on stage, it's very different than what you're back here. So that goes back to the idea of trusting your engineer to help pick the right settings. But you can actually take each one of these and actually dial down the amount of reverb and the amount of what they call early reflections and things like that. So you can actually tweak this. So you schedule your rehearsal time with AndyB or Andy Borchak, who was sitting back here before doing the streaming thing. Get in here, play with it. You don't have access to $500,000 sound systems at home in your basement. You do here, okay? But once again, you got to be careful. So you need to pay attention to the technology part. So what we're going to do is we're going to turn the reverberation system off so that we can listen to tracks. And what I have is a 2-channel or stereo DI box. Stands for direct injection. And what this does is it takes like your headphone output on your phone and turns it into, which is an unbalanced stereo signal, okay, on this little 3.5 millimeter or 1/8 inch mini tip ring sleeve connector. And it converts it to balanced audio, okay, and that's like regular mic line, okay, but it's a balanced signal so that we can actually get it into the console, because this console does not have any unbalanced inputs.
So that balances?
This balances it. And this is stereo one. Who are the DJs in the room? All right, you want to buy one of these, okay, because what's really nice about it is it accepts the output from your laptop, or it accepts RCA inputs like off a turntable, or it accepts regular 1/4 inch inputs like from a guitar or keyboard or something like that. Go ahead.
How much would that cost?
No. This is from a company called Radial, and they, you could almost drive a truck over this. So this one's probably $300 for this one. But aside from the fact that the only thing I don't like about it is these RCA connectors. I have had the little gold caps pop off of it. but I so rarely use those because this plugs into everyone's laptop and everyone's phone. Now, when you plug this in and you insert it into the phone, this one's a little hard to see because it's mini, but there's actually 3 points of contact. There's the tip, the ring, and the sleeve. And so you can imagine as you insert that, there's little pieces of spring steel inside your phone that it runs past. When you push that in or pull it out, you potentially will get a pop in the sound system. It's like plugging in your guitar. Plug in your guitar into your guitar amp and the guitar amp's not on standby, you get that pop. Well, if you're pushing that through a big PA, you'll potentially blow up the drivers in your loudspeakers, which we did in the PAC when we had our brand new sound system. Someone unplugged it without turning the channels off on the board and got this big pop. Blew all the high frequency drivers out of our line rate, 12 drivers. Now, thank God we had bought EAW and no, because we damaged them. But they had changed the manufacturing process and gone from a paper driver to a polymer. And because EAW is a super, super awesome company, and because I didn't lie to them and told them, you know, we blew it up. Technically, it was a client who blew it up, but you know, my guy didn't get to the off button fast enough, and so they sent them to us for free. Now we had to pay the guy who installed them to come back in and lower the speakers down and put the new drivers in and raise it back up. So it cost us, you know, a few $100 to do the repair. But and that is not the first time in my life that I've blown something up and totally admitted to it and had a manufacturer be like, oh, thank God you admitted to it. Everyone always sends this stuff back and doesn't tell us how they broke it. And then they're always like, you know, what are we gonna do? So every time you plug your phone in or unplug your phone, make sure the channels are off and be doubly sure that the faders are down. Okay, so if you want to plug it in, and you need to tell us who you are. You need to tell us what we're listening to.
My name's Antoine, and we're gonna listen to a beat I made.
Okay. And so you're the first to go. So you want to make sure that your volume is up all the way. Very important to get the most signal out of whatever it is that you're working with, right? Because if you have the volume down on your device, I've got to boost the signal up to make it loud enough. I'm boosting up all the noise in the background. Okay. So if it's playing, and we can start over because you're the first one, so we're going to set levels with you. It's playing. All right. So you see your meters right here. Okay, so this is your input gain. All right, so that's the amount of signal coming in. And then your output is how loud would you like it? Okay. Now, the speakers are playing. I set this up to a hard left and right pan. So you're hearing it out of the speaker up front and that speaker right there. Okay, so that's left, that's right. No bottom to this. The subs aren't in. We're going to add it. So if you hit select and grab this joystick, this takes you to the panning page. And see where it says LFE? So low frequency. We'll add the subs in. You want both left and right. Yeah, and then you just dial it up. That's just the sub, just the energy of the sub. And you want to match those two because you've got left and right, so you want that subs are mono signal, so you want to make sure that you get an equal amount of both.
Low frequency, it doesn't matter where they come from?
It does and it doesn't. Okay, if you go stand, we'll do this. And it has to do with the subs are located in this room, but down front, people are getting pounded right now.
Okay.
So if you were on the pressure wave low frequency,
Alright, that makes sense.
then you're
So you don't, hearing it doesn't matter, but actually
There's no EQ, there's no filters on this at all. We're running it straight out of his phone, straight to the PA. To that. Now, conveniently, this particular DI protects you from that. But
I knew you wouldn't. There's no way you would have trusted that.
No. What? Remember. Okay? Like this, and that's the science and technology part of it. All right? Okay, so before we move on, what do people think?
Oh my god! I so want to be able to use this.
All right. And what did you like about it?
I'll tell you what I liked. There was a part where I was anticipating a drop, and I went like this, and it didn't come, and then 2 seconds later, it came in, and I was like, oh, it was really creative.
Okay. What else do people like? I always like to get 3 positive things before anyone can say anything negative. All right, so there's one. So give us something else. What else do people like specifically about it?
I like how the piano was going along with the music, and I like how he changed it, probably took it 1 octave down and 1 octave up.
Okay.
I like that.
Okay.
The way he did his hi-hats.
Okay.
The way he did his hi-hats, combination.
Okay. These things you thought about while you were doing it? Okay. Now, anyone not like it? All right. So, I thought it was very good. I liked it a lot, and I think you have some talent. What do you use? What do you use to create it?
FL Studio.
Okay.
And then the Nexus plugin.
Okay. All right. So who's next?
Me. I'm Aristotle. You guys are gonna be hearing a song that I recorded. I engineered the vocals. Basically, it's a hook. First verse is me, and I have a feature on it as well. And you guys should be able to tell who I am in the first one.
So go ahead and now turn it on, but pull the faders down because his might be louder than yours. All right. So go ahead and hit play.
Thing up all the way?
Your volume up. They're paired, so you only have to use one. You set it up as a stereo.
Industry Ready Production, PSBeats.com.
You don't ever let a nigga waste your time. Every time I kiss you, chill my spine. Both the other bitches tryna kill my vibe. Everything you do your way. Both the other niggas tryna know your game. All the other bitches need to up that game. That's my baby, the gang. Yeah, tell niggas it's mine, yeah. You know that you're so fine, yeah. I been up on my guy, yeah. I been working like yeah. Ain't no pussy like yours, yeah. You don't even need words, yeah. Word, yeah. You know that I'm on yours, yeah. Oh, up in the gotta like me, yeah. You the one I'm gon' be with. Me and you and that sweet shit. You so baby, I'm seasick. All your exes gon' be sick. Don't nobody do it like you. You the one I call my boo. Tell the niggas it's mine. Tell the niggas they gon' get a run from my boo. Tell the niggas they ain't working better than you. Tell the niggas it's mine. 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 Tell the niggas they gon' get a run from my boo. Tell the niggas they ain't working better than you. Tell the niggas it's mine. Tell the niggas it's mine. Tell the niggas it's mine. Yeah, tell the niggas it's mine. Yeah, tell the niggas it's mine. I told her everything gon' be fine. Give a fuck about me dimes. Dollars on my mind. I deserve to shine, cause I've been on my grind every day now. Tell me what it takes to get to the top. To be at the bottom, you know your shit out. To put the city on, hands on the block. You think niggas give a damn, taking they spot. Now that I'm doing my thing, drinking and pumping this thing, doing this shit that you can't. Oh yeah, I'm rapping and singing and snap on the track on the road like a 10 feet ain't no. Skinny ass nigga that's straight at the low. You was there all the days I was broke, until I get that first thing I'm gone. I don't give a damn if they call me Hollywood, cause I'm doing every day that you told me that I could. Now, middle finger up, get the fuck up off my wood now. Tell the niggas they gon' get a run from my boo. Tell the niggas they ain't working better than you. Tell the niggas it's mine. 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 Tell the niggas they gon' get a run from my boo. Tell the niggas they ain't working better than you. Tell the niggas it's mine. Tell the niggas it's mine. Tell the niggas it's mine. Yeah, tell the niggas it's mine.
So what do people think?
That was catchy.
Yeah?
The beginning made me think of like an artist like Prince because of the beat, and then like as it got into the main song, it made me think of like Kanye West and Lil Wayne and all that.
Okay.
I mean, obviously, maybe it's not obvious. It should be obvious that it's not exactly my style of music, but I could still say that it sounds like something I would hear on a radio station. And I'm a big fan of limited use. I mean, I couldn't understand all the lyrics, but I'm a big fan of a limited use of swearing, and when you use it, it sounds powerful. And when I did hear it, it was like, and I liked it. Like, it was, swearing should be used in a powerful manner if you're going to use it. I don't think it should just be thrown around. And so I liked it when I heard it.
Okay.
I'll say I like the flow because like like me when I listen to rap music, it's not all about what you say, it's how you say it.
Right.
It's just like I like how it flows.
Okay.
It was, me too. I like it. Like it was the whole song was a good concept, but
Mhm.
at the same time, like, was the beat off of YouTube or something?
Yeah, I usually get my beats from YouTube, SoundCloud, or
So
SoundClick.
yeah, you could tell if it was off of YouTube or not, because
From the tag?
from how the beat is engineered with the
Okay.
lyrics and stuff.
You mean like the levels could be?
Yeah, like the beat, like when you grab something off of YouTube,
Mhm.
it's not as same as if how he made it when it's straight from the program.
Right. It sounded thin,
Yeah.
right? Now, we didn't change any of the settings, so when we dialed up the low end and made it sound good with your beat, yours was missing low end, which could be related to where he pulled it from.
Yeah.
But also, what monitors do you use? Like, what do you listen to?
I have JBL monitors.
Okay.
Yeah, they're big. I mean, they're like, I don't really pay attention to like numbers or anything.
Right.
It's like this big. And I
Okay.
got two of them.
And do they produce? So obviously they can produce the low end. Did you hear the low end? Did you hear more low end in your mix when you mixed it, or did you kind of mix it towards a little more towards the thin side?
I'm gonna keep it real. I didn't really mix the beat. You know, I just
Okay.
mixed my vocals.
That's why you got a producer right there.
You know. Right. You redo the B.
And a little side note, like, what do you think of the Yamaha HS series?
I think they're good. I think they're all good for the money. You know, like until you get into, you know, $3,000 a piece monitors, you know, they're all kind of equal. All right.
I'm working with. I got one HS5 right now. I got the white one.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna get the other one soon. I gotta get my isolation pads too.
Yep. Yeah, because where you mix, and where do you mix?
In my house.
In your house. Okay, so where you mix, the environment you mix in, has an impact, and we're going to talk about that when we get into acoustics and things like that, like how waveforms can cancel each other out. So you might hear more low end, literally in your mix, in your room, but then you take it somewhere else, and it sounds a little thin. Now we could have dialed up the low end, but I kind of wanted to point this out. You know, so you can always tweak things, and this also where mastering comes in. Okay, and mastering, it started out, okay, that when you took your recording and went to press it to vinyl, the good old days, if there was too much low end, then the cutter, which was cutting the vinyl, would cut the groove in such a way that the needle would literally skip right out of the groove. And so they hired engineers, literally like electrical engineers, not necessarily musicians, and they would remaster it so that it could be pressed to vinyl. And that's where mastering engineering came into being. But what you ended up having is you started having people like Roger Nichols and some of the really great mastering engineers take it into the realm of art, take it out of science and took it into the realm of art. Now, when you master things, you're mastering for downloads, you're mastering for CD, you're mastering to play out of someone's tiny little, you know, $1.99 earbuds. And so the mastering engineer kind of became, you know, his sort of like going full circle back to the science end of it. And now you have to have like multiple mixes developed in order to present your music in the best possible format. The other reason I think mastering engineers are really important is because you have to learn to let go of your mix. You have to learn to because if you want to be I don't say commercially viable, but you need to, you know, like in this class, we're being critical you know, it's all positive criticism. We're all trying to improve it, okay? And so that's really what the mastering engineer does, is they take it and they put that kind of, you know, sheen on it. Everyone, Andy Borchek, AndyB.
Andy!
Thank you for putting us on YouTube. You're watching us down in the.
I'm not popular.
That would be
Could I
awkward.
plug the laptop in that, or?
Let's do this.
You want to turn that off before I was?
Yep, it is off. All right, so do me a favor and plug that into the headphone jack on this laptop.
Headphone.
Oh, no, plug this into the headphone jack. And I'm not sure where it is. It might be on the other side.
Or it might be in
There
the
we
back.
go. We got it.
Okay. And pop that USB drive in. No, into the computer itself.
Right there.
There's one on that side, yeah.
I want to go next.
And it will probably open up. It'll probably say it's installing or something.
Yeah, it's a
So
sponsor hardware.
just find, it's
want
yours,
them?
right? Yeah, so come on around.
Huh? Windows XP. Now you got all this Windows 7, Windows 8, Windows 10.
Yeah, the campus doesn't like my XP computer, but it's the one I use to control the PA downstairs, so.
You seriously use this to control the Performing Arts Center?
We use